In working on the flight model, we are trying to deliver a balanced combination of accessible controls with historically accurate World War II warplanes. That is why, with some very minor exceptions, World of Warplanes offers pretty realistic flight models. Each plane has a distinctive character and combat style. A diverse selection of aircraft in the game will allow players to choose a model that matches their style of play. Our goal is to provide players with extensive gameplay and at the same time make World of Warplanes reasonably accessible and enjoyable for players of all skill levels. The more you play World of Warplanes, the more expertise you get, and the more depth, tactical choices, and game options you learn and uncover along the way. In World of Warplanes, you can do a barrel roll, take your aircraft in a vertical loop, perform an Immelmann turn, and other tricky maneuvers. Being good at stunt flying will, obviously, help you to gain an advantage in combat. Historical note: a dead loop, often referred to as Nezdorov's loop, is an aerobatic maneuver that consists of a closed curve in a vertical plane. On September 9, 1913, a famous Russian military pilot, Pyotr Nestorov, became the first to perform the deadly maneuver. His Newport 4 monoplane, powered by a 70-horsepower Gnome rotary engine, made the loop and safely landed in Kiev. The Immelmann turn, named after the German World War I flying ace Max Immelmann, is fairly simple but an effective aerobatic maneuver in which an aircraft accelerates and executes an ascending half-loop. Immelmann often advised to fly at higher altitude than the opponent, and held a personal belief that he was more vulnerable to attack when flying at lower altitudes. The World of Warplanes flight model is built with consideration of most flight parameters, even seemingly insignificant ones, like weight and resistance strength of bomb loads and underwing weapons. World of Warplanes, however, does feature smaller distances and faster, more nimble aircraft than would be in real-life dogfights. We sacrifice bits of realism and accuracy to ensure fun and dynamic gameplay. The core principle is that players should fight their enemies, not their aircraft. Every plane features multiple variations of ammo and engines, allowing players to tweak their plane's modules to their liking. A powerful machine gun provides better firepower, while an upgraded engine makes aircraft more agile. Heavily armed warplanes benefit from a lower response rate. If you install extra armaments, the plane might get heavy and more sluggish, making it more suited to perform certain slow speed stunts, such as the boom and zoom. You can dive on the enemy, shoot at the target with as little power loss as possible, and zoom back out of reach of the target. Let's look closer at the upgrade system through the example of the LA-5 fighter. Historical note: the Lavochkin LA-5 modifications. The first LA-5 took flight on March 21, 1942. The aircraft had 3 serial modifications and 2 prototypes. The LA-5F featured a modified radial M82F engine that improved performance and solved the commonly occurring overheating issue, while a refined canopy significantly improved the rearward vision. The LA-5FN was equipped with a powerful fuel-injected M82FN engine. It had a higher roll rate and a smaller turn radius than the BF-109G. Among the LA-5's most renowned pilots was the Soviet ace Ivan Kozydov, who had the highest number of confirmed air-to-air victories of any Soviet or Allied pilot. Alexei Morozoev, another legendary Soviet ace who flew the LA-5. LA-5 modifications, as they are in the game, have never been used in any flight-based game before. Players can build a prototype, installing whichever engine type, glider model, and set of armaments they want. Many of these modifications went through testing and were flown as prototypes, but never went into mass production. It's a very interesting machine that offers a staggering amount of customization. Players will be able to customize their planes and make them more personalized and recognizable in a fight, including being able to choose from several camouflage schemes and decorate them with emblems and pinup art. The damage system provides a certain degree of realism and illustrates the vulnerability of aircraft in the game. Warplanes consist of numerous individual parts that impact their damage model. Almost every plane module in the game is susceptible to damage. Cockpit, tail, engine, even pilot, nearly everything. The player can pretty much destroy any part of the warplane, crucial for effective air combat behavior in the game. Bullet-ridden wings will lose climbing power, but will not necessarily fall out of the sky, instead only being able to travel at slow speeds. Pierced petrol tanks have the chance of catching on fire and could possibly cause a plane to explode if the fire isn't put out quickly. Historical note. On August 30th, 1942, 27-year-old Captain John Smith, leading a squad of U.S. Marine Corps' F-4F Hellcats, received word of a formation of nearby Army P-39 Air Cobra planes that had come under fire from more than 20 Japanese Zero fighters. After gaining some altitude, Smith dove into the dogfight. He picked his first target and tracked it. The captain aimed at the spot in front of a Zero's cockpit, the location of the plane's main petrol tank. A critical hit to the tank would cause an instantaneous fire that could potentially destroy the entire plane. The strategy proved to be invaluable, and Smith's sixth enemy plane burst into flames. Effective tactics helped the captain to shoot down numerous A-6M Zero fighters, compared to the less maneuverable F-4F, and brought yet another victory for the Wildcats in the Pacific. Bullet trajectory is pretty fair in the game. However, hitting an enemy is rather easy. To assist those used to playing arcade games, we introduced a bullet guiding system that helps players aim better and hit their target. The option is called the Lead Finding Sight Assist. We also have various ground and naval targets in the game. There are ground-based AA guns, enemy land bases, enemy ground facilities, and installations that can be attacked. Naval targets are mainly combat ships and vessels that can also be attacked with a variety of weapons. The best way to attack ground targets is to use rockets and bombs. The ground attack planes are the best choice for air-to-ground missions.